Oi. Shuba duba die. This blessed country, oh land of beauty, I pray for thee. Some people have that wrong philosophy that politicians can save a country. They never try and do it spiritually. And now the system exploding on we. The country in a recession, a big change from the old time religion. Mankind rewriting history in a modern but a bad version. We're living in our final days. Take a look and change your ways. For our beautiful country, going back to slavery days, only a prayer for the land can stop drug violence and crime. A prayer for the land, yes, these are the signs of the end of time. A prayer for the land, the price of living, man, is so high. A prayer for the land, that even the rich like the poor cry. You say you're concerned and care, we country living in fear, but all are we born right here. So let's say a prayer, the Almighty Father will hear. And I see, boy. Shuba duba die. Oh God Almighty, show some mercy on this our country. Moral standard gone way down the drain. Little children using rum, crack and cocaine. It seems like wicked-itions gone insane, and everyone playing the dirty game. Too much guns and drugs in the country, owned by Tom, Dick and Harry. But if you're wrong, you must pay for it, for the law, no one above it. Put an end to victimization, oppression and segregation. It's not a good thing for this country, so let's try and wipe it out totally with a prayer for the land, of fire and brimstone go burn with it. A prayer for the land, some say they're picking out who should get bail. A prayer for the land, and that's why the prisoners burn down the jail. A prayer for the land, one day it must prevail. Please don't let this country become an next Haiti. No peace, no unity. Bow down humbly, the Almighty will answer we. Oh yeah, Shuba duba die. Oh God Almighty, show some mercy on this our country. They now call we terror Paradise Island. No longer a country where peace abound. Yes, I used to boast about my land of beauty, the freest nation with democracy. But now we are the capital for drug pushers and money launderers. Shame and scandal is on we, sake is state tarnish universally. Some blame it on the politicians for the unstabilized conditions. We going from bad to worse, our blessed country now cursed. But a prayer for the land, will help us to live with other people. I pray for the land, for that's why the nation in big trouble. I pray for the land, united we stand, divided we fall. I pray for the land, citizens answer your duty call. Righteousness exalts a nation. The most I hate poor man depression. So I'm calling on everyone to take a stand. Take it, listen to my song. Did a bad over boy, shuba duba die. What? This blessed country, oh land of beauty, I pray for thee.
Song of the man King Craig, the mighty Craig. I pray for the land. I pray for the Federation of St. Kitts Nevis. Yes, my good people, I'm DJ Mauricio, and I'm coming to you live and direct from my bunker here in the Republic of St. Paul's. You heard it right. I'm still here in the Federation of St. Kitts Nevis. The weather on the outside is very lovely. Being a heated day all day. We have a very interesting program to bring to you this evening. Continuation from last Wednesday. The questions have to ask, the struggles continues. But just before we get into the conversation, if you might be strolling the web and just run into us and you want to know what this program is all about, let's take a quick listen to the info.
Wednesday evenings are heating up. Log on to DJ Mauricio's Facebook Live broadcast every Wednesday evening from 6 to 8 p.m. It's a frank and candid exploration into the social, cultural, political, and economic issues affecting our federation. And just in case you missed it, you can also catch the broadcast on his YouTube channel, DJ Mauricio. Subscribe to the channel on YouTube and smash that bell. You will be notified whenever he goes live. DJ Mauricio, every Wednesday evening, Facebook 6 to 8 p.m. or thereafter on his YouTube channel, DJ Mauricio. Log on.
Yes, you heard it right. DJ Mauricio is here every Wednesday evening from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. normally. But to accommodate your CPL lovers like Mervyn, Nigel Leader, and those guys and Ivor Henry and Desmond Hicks, we decided to do it a little hour early from 5 to 7 to accommodate those folks who wants to go and take a peek at the CPL. So while we get ourselves organized to get into the program, how about let's take a quick check out of my boy there, the man Carbo, and see what Carbo has to tell us about his lovely goat water and punji and fish and those things over there in the fountain area. Let me see if I can find my boy Carbo to speak to you at the moment. I wonder where Carbo hiding this evening. I've been looking for Carbo, I can't find him. Oh, I found Carbo. Carbo is right here. Come on, brother Carbo, come in and let the people know what's going on there in Fountain Nevis. You're hiding from me, brother Carbo.
Carbo's, located at Fountain Village in Nevis, is the go-to spot for your Saturday treats. Tantalize your taste buds with his delectable Carbo's Delicacy Goat Water. Or, if you prefer some soul food, then Carbo's Punji and Fish is definitely the way to go. Call ahead and reserve at 869-663-9694. Then make your way over to Carbo's and enjoy the vibrant atmosphere while you savor your delicacy. Carbo's, we are not changing, we are only improving.
Food all over, food all over. You got the food
You heard it, Carbo have the food all over there in Nevis, and Carbo also does delivery there on the island of Nevis and on St. Kitts. So if you care to get some goat water, fungi and fish, get some Nevis delight in your tummy, feel free to reach out to my boy Carbo. Let him know DJ Maurice sent you, and Carbo will definitely take care of you. Now let's take a quick listen to Sister Carmen of Carmen Caterers.
Girl Sandra, you know where you can find nice fresh local food 7 days a week, one provision and all kind of thing. Girl, where? Right down there by Shillings, by Carmen Catering Services. Girl, she opposite the bus stop. Girl, and she also cater for weddings, parties, anything you want to cater for, funeral and all. Girl, and trust me, you're gonna enjoy the food. And she also selling bites and Sundays. Opposite the car shop, right down the main road. Girl, you could call 665-1494 or 663-6005 to order your food or go and pick up your food. Girl, the food that is finger licking and you get your money worth. You ain't want nothing better than that.
For sure, you get your money worth from Sister Carmen. Yesterday, I tried a new dish she had there with some spaghetti and some cream sauce, with some Parmesan cheese. Lovely, lovely taste. Lovely taste, lovely lady. So check Carmen there at Shoreline down in the Bastille area there. There's West Ferry Terminal, downtown Bastille. Monday to Saturday from 12 p.m., 12 noon to 5 p.m. And on a Sunday over there in Boyd's Village, right across from the Agaro shop there in Boyd. So just check Carmen and let her know DJ Maurice sent you. Now let's hear what my boy there, Brother Daniel Atherton, have to say about his business tragedies there in the NIA.
Welcome to Strategies for Business Success, right here on 2020visionradio.com and on 102.1 FM with business development advocate Daniel Atherton. Each week, Danny will build on a foundation to ensure your success in business. Being in business can be daunting, and Strategies for Business Success can help you avoid the pitfalls. Join Danny right here on 2020visionradio.com, on 102.1 FM, and on your other social media platforms every Tuesday evening at 7 p.m. That's right, Tuesday evenings at 7 p.m. The time and place for your business dreams to come true.
Yes, you heard it about Brother Danny there. Check him out. Let him know DJ Maurice sent you as well. Now let's take a quick listen to what my boy there, the man, Brother Malvern Gums, have to say about the DJ.
Hey, this is Malvern from Spectrum Band, and you're listening to DJ Maurice, playing you the best in Caribbean music.
You got that?
Hey, this is Malvern from Spectrum Band, and you're locked into DJ Maurice. Keep it locked.
Right there. And with that, let me bring in my co-host here for this evening, the man none other than Brother Benter. Brother Benter, as usual, as I've said to you, time and time again, this program is going by the numbers. So there are new people online weekly. So forgive me for asking you to repeat yourself weekly. Can you give a quick synopsis of who you are for the online viewers?
Sure, and good afternoon to your listening and viewing audience. My name is Oakland Benter. I'm an ex-chief of police of the U.S. Virgin Islands, an ex-senator of the U.S. Virgin Islands, an ex-vice president of a telecommunication corporation, where we had banks and telecommunication systems throughout the world, and an assistant liaison to some of the OECS countries based on CARICOM issues. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, Brother Benter. Welcome. We have a lot to talk about tonight. We have a continuation from last Wednesday. We got to get some updates on that elderly home in the Saddlers area, the status on that, the status, the non-status and the police investigation and report, the non-response thus far from the Department of Health. There's a hot topic in the Federation about one of our sitting ministers. We're going to deal with that. The AG made some statement in Parliament last week, which created some serious conversation. There's also some conversation about drugs that was taken into custody that seems to be disappearing from the evidence room. I don't know how true that is. We're going to have those conversations and much, much more. So stand by for Brother Dwyer Astafan's commentary, and we're going to try and fit everything into the short period that we have. Stand by.
Greetings. 5 days ago, the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions issued a press release announcing that a formal investigation would be launched into the administration of the Citizenship by Investment program prior to the recent reforms implemented by the current administration. I think those reforms were introduced last year. In the press release, the Office of the DPP emphasized the importance of ensuring a fair and independent inquiry, particularly in light of the potential political implications of the investigation, and that the Office of the DPP had received assurances from the government that they would fully support an independent and impartial process, allowing the investigation to proceed. And towards the end, the press release states that in recent years, concerns have been raised about the administration of the program prior to the recent reforms, including issues of underselling citizenships, transparency, and financial accountability. There's no doubt that a formal investigation into our CBI is necessary, indeed, long overdue. No interference, no politics. We must allow the investigation to proceed, and the administration says that it will allow it to proceed. Let it proceed, let the facts lead us where they lead us. And if anybody, regardless of station in life, is found to have done wrong, then he or she must face justice. Especially because any wrongdoing in relation to the CBI does not only violate a single individual, it violates an entire nation. And the punishment for any perpetrator must be stiff. We talk a lot about bringing criminals to justice and making penalties stiffer. But I hope that this investigation will send the message clearly that people in suits and big jobs are criminals too, perhaps more dangerous to society than so-called blue-collar criminals. And that henceforth in this country, justice will not pick and choose who to prosecute and who to turn a blind eye to. But the first step today is to seek absolute clarity as to the actual intention of this investigation. The release states that the investigation will be launched into the court administration of the CBI. And it uses that word administration twice. What does administration mean? It means management, direction, running, government, supervision, organization, paperwork, etc. So will this investigation be limited in scope to the government side of the CBI and to government personnel only, or will it include private sector stakeholders, both in St. Kitts Nevis and overseas? Every single one of them. If the investigation is intended to apply only to the government side, then it would leave too many questions unanswered, and it would create further suspicion and anger and bad consequences for St. Kitts and Nevis, both at home and abroad. It would shortchange justice, and we can't have that. There's been too much injustice for too long in this country. Likewise, if its scope includes the public and private sectors in St. Kitts Nevis, but does not include stakeholders overseas. And this is why I'm saying everybody who has been involved must be scrutinized. Timothy Harris is saying that the CBI has collapsed. Well, this investigation should be thorough so that the people of our country and the world will see what and who caused it to collapse and why. He might not be happy with the results. He's also claiming that the economy is in ruins. Well, he encouraged an economy which came to depend on the same CBI for nearly 70% of government revenue. A monoculture economy, just like in the plantation and colonial days. Not good for this country. And in his 7 years as Prime Minister, with this cash cow in his possession, what did he do to diversify the economy? You answer that. So let us hope, indeed let us insist, that in the interest of truth, the investigation will be totally open-ended and will exclude nobody, whether here or overseas. Secondly, with regard to the part of the press release which states that the investigation will cover matters which occurred prior to the recent reforms, let's consider these points. 1. How far back in time will the investigation go? The CBI has been in place for 40 years. And if evidence exists going back to that time, then if only for purposes of completeness, shouldn't that evidence be examined and the findings put on the record? 2. If only matters that occurred prior to the introduction of the reforms are to be investigated, then all Galaxy jail applications and all other applications which were approved and all certificates of citizenship which were signed either by the former or present administration before the introduction of these reforms, all of them will have to be examined as part of the investigation. And the investigation will finally reveal to those who already do not know how many, if any, of the 5,500 Galaxy applicants paid the minimum $175,000 set by law. But even before the investigation takes place, we know that this is a project which could have raised US $750 million or over 2 billion EC dollars for the people of St. Kitts and Nevis. Broken down on a per capita basis, that would be nearly 40,000 EC dollars for every man, woman, and child living in this country. But the people have been denied the benefit of this money because of the deal between the PLP, PAM, and CCM administration and Galaxy. Now tell me, what kind of administration would allow a situation in which a few persons here and abroad get to pocket a 2 million US, a 5 million US, a 10 million US, a 28 million US, or a 300 million US, while at the same time, whether willfully or inadvertently, the administration deprives the masses of this country to the tune of over 2 billion EC dollars. What kind of administration would allow that? Ask yourselves the question and give yourselves the answer. What does somebody who does that deserve, other than answering for what he or she did or didn't do? Answering to you and answering to whoever else needs to be answered to. And what do the victims of that act, that's you, the people of this country, what do you deserve other than justice and reparation? Yes, reparation. This is the most vicious and callous attack on our people, present and to come, people living today and generations yet unborn in modern history. Yet some of us are up and down calling for that same administration or elements of it to come back. Sometimes I wonder, about us. They mismanaged and they squandered. They deprived and they deceived. Not to mention locking us down like prisoners during COVID and boasting that they would keep us locked down until we vaccinated. Remember the torment, the suffering, the agony, the mental anguish that is still being endured. Remember the lady who reluctantly took her vaccination to keep her job, and what happened to her shortly thereafter? She's in her grave. They deprived us all of our biggest chance for collective prosperity, leaving little or nothing for the present administration to work with. And instead of focusing on never again bringing in those who deprived us of our national prosperity, some of us want them back. Some of us just love punishment. Now let's be clear. I'm not going to defend the present administration or try to make a case for them if I think they need to be critiqued. And everybody knows that. And this is one of the reasons most people in power, regardless of who they are, which party they are, generally keep individuals like me at a distance. Because I am not a yes man. I don't kiss people's backsides. I don't crave the company of big shots and play big shots. I don't crave invitations to this or that event. And I cannot be bought. And insofar as the national interest is concerned, while I am an acolyte of the philosophy of labor of Bradshaw, my loyalties are to principles and country, not to individuals or parties. Having said that, I must also say that a number of us are blaming the present administration for the country being so hard. And there is some justification in that. But many of us seem to forget those $2 billion plus that we were deprived of as a result of that deal which the Harris cabinet did with Galaxy. They did it with Galaxy and they did it to us. They, the former administration, did it with Galaxy, and both they and Galaxy did it to us. Number 3, now if it is true that matters only occurring before the introduction of the reforms are to be investigated, my question is why? Are we being told that no wrongdoing has occurred since these reforms were introduced? If anybody is telling us that, then he or she is being arrogant, and we won't put up with any more arrogance, or with people in positions of public trust deciding what we should or should not know. We want to know for ourselves, and the only way that we can know is for all matters, whether occurring before or after the reforms, whether in the public or private sector, and whether local or overseas, be investigated and revealed to the people of this country. Meanwhile, a few persons have asked as to what caused this investigation to happen. Well, it hasn't happened yet, and I suspect it will happen. Let's presume. You see, we are a tiny, vulnerable nation, a sardine trying to survive in a big ocean with massive whales and sharks, dangerous ocean, small fish. The pressure has been building on the country from the deals of the past in this CBI, and pressure and persuasion from both within the country and outside have brought us to this point. We have a CBI which offered us an opportunity to provide the financial foundation upon which we could build and sustain a strong economy and society. If this program had been efficiently administered and managed, there is absolutely nothing that would have stopped us from becoming, over the last 20 years, one of the world's most successful small states. But that didn't happen. Those who have been in charge did a terrible job, and as a result, they placed the well-being and the future of the people of this country in grave jeopardy. The big fish on whom we rely to a large extent to make our CBI successful have been telling us that we have been causing security and other concerns in their countries, and have been urging us for years to clean up our act, both in their interest and ours. But not sufficient attention and regard were being paid to them. We heard leaders say that Canada and America and the others are jealous of us, and their lack of attention and regard was compounded by mismanagement and greed, forcing us to the precipice where we are still tottering today, struggling to get back on safe and solid ground. So we are where we are in terms of now launching an investigation because of the difficulties endured and persuasion and pressure applied both from inside and from outside the country. The big fish want us to succeed. Yes, they do. Because if we do succeed, we become less of a problem for them economically and geopolitically. All we have to do is clean up our act. And so this investigation by the office of the DPP is a step in the right direction. But it has to be sincere, it has to be thorough, and it has to look into matters from 1984 up to today, excluding and exempting nobody. And it must be allowed to proceed without fear or favor, without tampering or interference. And once the facts are crystallized out, let justice be done. Let us never endure what we have endured for the last 2 or so decades. This must be the cleansing that this country needs and has needed for a long time. This is our last chance. We must make sure not to mess it up. Let us clear the path for a better future for our children, grandchildren, and future generations. Over to you.
Brother Benta, tap your screen there, open your mic.
Yes.
With the new launch of an investigation in this CBI matter that was announced last week here in St. Kitts, I can only say that maybe someone is hearing you and took your advice that it's best to have this matter resolved within our federation than to have someone out there in the US to make this decision. Either way, I gotta take my hat off as usual to Dwyer, but not tonight, for his forceful commentary. I support it 100%. I don't understand the idea of the announcement that there will be an investigation prior to these rules or laws being implemented. The matter is surrounding the CBI or the deification of the sugar industry. That is part of the CBI money. What do they call it? I think they call it something else. Anyway, it's all part of it. So what you want to investigate that if you have monies that was put there for the diversification of funds for the sugar industry that came as a part of the CBI, investigate everything. You cannot do part and leave part out. Whoever hands is in the cookie jar, let's find out. And wherever they hide the cookie, let's follow the cookie. Let's bring the people monies back to the people, wherever it might be hiding, whether it's in Switzerland, Dubai, Scotland, or America. Let's bring the people money back to the people. Your thoughts?
I think I know you're right. I have a strong sense of belief that the members today who are really sitting down on this are really paying attention, because, you know, there's a financial task force. It's a financial action task force, the FATF, which has been formulated for instances like this. And it's better that the country itself handle its own internal issue, if there is an issue, and correct it first and foremost. Because what this does is it creates so many other offspring of issues for the country and for the citizens as well. There are some ends where individuals show up at a US port with a passport that says one thing, and at the same time, while that person is coming in, there are agents knocking on the door of someone who lives in the States that have the same name. And then to find that this is what's been taking place, more and more, we started finding that in some of the other countries where you were free to roam, a visa was implemented, and then much more stringent rules are being applied. But there was an agreement in the CBI as well as the EB-5 program. EB-5 is more on the United States side, as similar as the same as Citizen by Investment, that there are certain criteria that must be followed, and also to make sure and ensure that the armed refugees who are wanted by Interpol or the United States are using different identification to travel and traverse undetected, unaccounted for in any country. And that now brings another issue to whether the visa program, as it's structured right now for those who want to travel abroad, whether they're going to be extra stringent action. But if the nations themselves stand and push forward in correcting this issue themselves, it adds towards the accolades of them saying, we have a responsible entity or responsible government that will do what's right. And even with the report, a complete report must be submitted because, of course, now we're talking about terrorism and so forth is one of the landmarks of the world today. So people coming in under certain identification and getting certain documents that enables them to roam. We have the 9/11, you go back to that, we saw what happened during the 9/11, where people came into even the US Virgin Islands and under different names and identity and how these things occurred, where we found that people were selling identifications here and there. So the US Department of Defense, US Department of Justice, Interpol, and everyone now have come together. And here comes a Caribbean nation where something is going to be done right. And the right way is really the way to go. And as Mr. Astaphan says, the EB-5 or the Citizen by Investment program was a good launch that many of the big countries love, because then it builds the countries to have a foot on the ground on your own by way of surviving without having to depend on outside assistance as far as business and revenues based on taxes alike. And if that is depleted because of these CBI programs, where all of the falsifications are taking place, is going to run the country into the ground, even into sanctions. And that is something you don't want an OECS nation to go through. Any nation wants to go through, because once you're sanctioned and realize that what you're doing is producing false documents, then traveling for many of the citizens of St. Kitts and Nevis becomes hindered by much more scrutiny in order to board an aircraft into the United States. So that is that's a very good move that I'm listening to. And you know, it goes into the EAD, which deals with employee authorization to work, all right, in the United States. Those are some of the things that they're looking at right now. There are some people who are teachers, you have doctors, because of the need and necessity, programs are created by the United States to bring people in on permanent work visas. And those permanent work visas are people from all over the world, because you have a skill set that need or they're lacking. And you come in and you work 5, 6, 7, 8 years, as long as you have you on board. And that's in that position. It could be a teacher, it could be a doctor, or someone with some special inclination. And then, of course, you go into those others where when many people declare asylum, they're looking at all of these individuals to make sure that they're not seeds that are planted, pretending to be what they say they are, and allow them to come in and get the benefits of having a visa to work, or even under the EAD program, that they're not actually supplanting one of the seeds in territory of the country themselves. But this is a serious economic move to correct this vexing issue, and I want to applaud those who are working on it. I mean, I'm listening to it. I heard Mr. Asafan, and if it is in fact that the DPP, as you mentioned, is really pushing forward on this, no one should be upset with this move. No one should be upset, because what this does is it removes the parasites, if you will. I'm not disrespecting anyone, but what it's creating for your country, some may enhance their wealth, but then it places your country more impoverished, because the nations are beginning to walk away from you, and the benefits of which you have begins to change, because now you have to provide much more than you really needed to as an OECS country in order to travel throughout the world. So it's a very good move.
Yeah, but the only problem with what I'm hearing with the release, like I said, it seems to be a partial investigation, because the release, if I understand it, is the investigation will cover prior to the new reforms. I am not sure that there are not problems currently. We need a full investigation, not just prior to. We need a full investigation. And this is what all citizens should be calling for.
And as you noticed, as the case was filed and the court was filed, they will have to do a complete and thorough investigation.
All right.
The MSR filed a case in one of the district courts of the United States under the treaty, which allowed them to do that. And that now invokes not just what he is doing, but it also invokes Interpol and Department of Security of the United States, where they'll be watching to see how this is handled. You can't handle it partially. If you begin it, you got to go. You got to turn every page over. You got to turn every stone over. You have to look at every single thing from the time of origin of when this complaint was made to present. You can't leave anything unaddressed, because if you do that, then it is impartial. But I know that if you have a Minister of National Security or anyone of National Security, he or she will know or will be aware or advised that this needs to be handled a certain way, because all eyes are on us. Now, this is just one of those things that has gone international and nationally. It is one of those things that's viral throughout all of the US departments, all of Interpol, and everyone is watching, to include Canada. Everybody's watching to see how this is handled. What they did is they made this a national media bureaucracy and brought the attention of all other nations who use the CBI program under question, and demonstration of being able to handle the program like it should is what's going to be the demonstration of the nation of St. Kitts and Nevis, that the other nations are going to watch to see what follows. Or if not, then you're going to have some other prerequisites for St. Kittitians and Nevisians to travel, like I said, to the United States. So it must be a thorough, it can't be partial.
Brother Benta, I guess someone joined late. I just received a private message here on my phone. It says, good afternoon. Is Mr. Benta from St. Kitts? He will make a good commissioner of police. Very intelligent gentleman. So I don't know if you want to let him know where you're from again.
I was born on the island of Antigua. My great-grandmother is from St. Kitts. But you know, the thing about it is, you had a commissioner there by the name of Walwyn.
T.J. Walwyn.
Yes, T.J. Walwyn. Him and I, as young men, we grew up together. We were part of what you call the police cadet together. And he went on into law enforcement one way, and then went on to law enforcement in another direction. Like, when it comes to St. Kitts, I have a significant passion for it. I mean, the hospitality, I said in another show, how I was treated. I tell you, we go out with some of these guys, I couldn't even put my hand in my pocket to buy a drink. It was an insult. I was very surprised. And every house I went to, I mean, if we sat at 2 houses or 5 homes, I learned the next day, you got to pick. You can't eat everything one time, because every home you go to, you must finish that plate of food to give you.
Yep.
So thank to that person who recognizes that. Thank you so much.
Yeah, Brother Bent, a couple of weeks ago, I asked you a question from a law enforcement perspective. And the question was in reference to some video and audio voice notes that was circulating by a young man that was murdered, gunned down in the Federation, a former artist by the name of IMAC. And I said to you then that there was a minister of government name mentioned in those circulations, and I asked for your opinion. We basically agree that something as serious as that should have been met with some kind of response from the minister, whether with the AG or whoever, to put an end to those stuff. But that was not done. And basically, the voice notes and the stuff on social media took on a different turn. And again, I'm going to play a clip here and give you a chance to give your view, but I can give you my opinion even before I play the clip. I still stand behind the fact that the minister should have come forward and addressed the nation. If it's not factual with the information that was produced from those clips, deny it, and basically let the AG and his office launch an independent investigation into the matter. But when people come and spread rumors, whether they're rumors, falsehood, whatever you want to call them, and you don't address them right away, they take a different life. And when you're going to get up as the AG and go into Parliament, and in my view, it started out with my grandfather as a little hardworking. He was a fisherman. He make his own boat. He make his own oars. He make his own fish pot, whether it might be from bamboo cane or from the wire. He plait them and do what he had to do. So there was different size of hammers that we use, you know. And I can say in this case, the small little hammer is what you use for the joiners when they're making the little cabinets and putting on their strips. And then you got your regular hammer when you're going to be beating on some nails in some rafters. You got your 2-pound hammer to pound your rocks. Back then, we didn't have the luxury of crusher to get stones to build your home. So you used to pound stone and sell. And then you had your 4-pound hammer to break down buildings. Well, in my case, in 2022, I actually used a 6-pound hammer on the Team Unity administration because that was required. So when I loaned it to Timothy, he made sure he got rid of 6 of them. That is why we have a new government. Hadn't Timothy took the action he took and take out 6 of them at one shot, we will still have a Team Unity administration corrupting the country. So I always give my boy Timothy credit for that, you know. But for whatever reason, it's amazing that since he's been put to pasture, whenever I do get in touch with him, he's always about 20 feet apart. We never get to see each other face to face. Yesterday, I happened to pay my respects to Brother Ron Fritz, their funeral, the son of Mr. Jeff Fritz, for Jeff and Sons Enterprises there in Molyneux. They put their son to rest yesterday. I was actually at the front where the casket was open with the viewing. And I just happened to take a step in to look for the book to sign in. And by the time I turn around the corner, here comes the former Prime Minister, passed and went in. So we never get to clash eyes. But I'm still waiting to see him and thank him in person for getting rid of 6. Because hadn't he got rid of 6, I couldn't get rid of him. So I want to thank him for his efforts. So condolences again to the Fritz family. Love and respect from DJ Marisha Productions and this platform. So, Brother Benta, I'm going to let you listen to a clip from the AG. And I without any water in my mouth, I can say to the AG, I appreciate his passion. I appreciate him defending his colleague, my friend. But at the same time, it's not what you do, it's how you do it. I think it was the wrong approach in this regard. And I want to believe that these ministers are these cabinet members that sit in cabinet. Or if they're listening to the advisors, they need to get rid of the advisors. And if they're not listening to the advisors, then to start listening to them. Because a lot of this hogwash that I'm hearing in Parliament, they have been paid too high a salary to make these simple mistakes. I would make those simple mistakes, and they have been paid way more than me. So I think they need to come back down and speak to the streets, speak to the citizens, understand how people feel. These ain't the days where you're going to dictate what people should say and not say. If you are questioned by the citizens of this federation that did elect you, you have a responsibility to respond to them appropriately. You don't threaten to take away their phones and threaten to bring them in and all this kind of stuff. Because guess what, Brother Benta? As you listen to this clip, you know, I experienced the same situation as the minister. A few weeks ago, there was some dirty bottom boys there in the Bronx, New York, a barber boy, went on social media trying to dirty my name, trying to mess with my character, because he's just incapable of living up to what a man should. And he figured by trying to bring me down, he will make him look good, but he make himself look like an ass. There's another Ben up one day in Florida that did the same thing. There's one day in Atlanta. They believe by going out on social media and try to mess with people's character will elevate them. But it does not work that way. My good friend there, Ivor Henry, was taken to task by a group of them as well. And when they sent the video to me, I asked them, why are you sending this to me? This man is not a politician. He's not running for politics. So why are you all trying to kill the man? If you had coffins in the cemetery to show some of the onslaught that some of our citizens lay out against their citizens, their fellow comrades, is more than what in the cemetery out there. Is more than what the guns and the weapons have taken, the lives. Our citizens out there trying to destroy lives and social media. So I have no problem with the approach that the AG took in this regard. But you cannot just be convenient for your colleague. You got to be across the board. A 9-year-old was found in a car shot dead. I don't hear no noise about that. My good friend Cons Edwards went missing on the 1st of August. He was found on the 9th of August. He was buried on the 21st of August. Today is the 26th of September. Still no information for DJ Marisha or the family. Where is the passion for Mr. Edwards and his family? There's a situation with that home that is still operating that should be closed, pending the outcome of the investigation. I took my cousin out of that home on the 2nd of September. Today is the 26th of September. I was told by the owner of that home that she will gather my cousin's property together and submit the invoice for what is owed to her. I still have not heard from her. Where is the people to be upset in this regard? What kind of police commissioner are we dealing with? What kind of law-abiding police officers that we are dealing with? Just selective when it affects the ministers of government or their close friends and relatives. that is when you kick into gear. Can't happen. And these matters are not, I'm not going to let them go to rest. Until I see a change, until I see laws, until I see people held accountable, I will not stop. So, Brother Benter, I'm going to vent like the AG. But I'm going to let you hear him for yourself. Stand by.
General. May it please you, Madam Deputy Speaker. I also wish to extend Independence greetings to our fellow citizens and residents of St. Kitts, our beautiful country, St. Kitts and Nevis. And I want to repeat the theme for this year: together a people proud and strong, Independence 41. I want people to remember that. But on a less light note, Madam Speaker, I am very upset. I am upset because there are people in this country who feel that it is okay to attack other people under the guise of their electronic devices. In the recent past, there have been numerous attacks at my friend and colleague, the member for number 2, by way of WhatsApp forwards, TikTok videos, and other ridiculous allegations that were made that has put her life and the life of her child at risk. We cannot be a society where we make fun and joke of things like that. There are people in this country who treat political party over everything else. They do not care about the lives of other people. They do not care about decency. All they want to do is attack and win political points. They are nasty people, and they must be condemned. And Madam Speaker, I do not want to take this spirit of celebration that we're in Independence 41 and bring a downer to it. But I felt it needed to be said, Madam Speaker. And I want to point out to our people, there are laws in this country that make it a criminal offense to either make or forward statements, letters, any sort of art, communications by electronic device that either harasses, threatens, intimidates, molests other people. It is called unlawful communications. And Madam Speaker, I want the people of this country to know that if the culture of forwarding and sending around things that could cause harm to other people is not stopped voluntarily by the goodwill and decency within your heart, the police are going to have to stop it. And the police have the authority and they have the law to take your phone, and no matter what you delete, it can be found. And the police will charge you and bring you to justice. So we as a people, we have two choices. Continue to be reckless, irresponsible, not caring about people, not just because they're in public office, you could say anything about them. It's improper, it is not decent, it's not becoming of people of this great country. It is a time now, and I hope they put this on TikTok. It's the time now to change that attitude. When you see lies and ridiculousness on your phone, delete it. Do not click forward. When you go before a camera and say you're some sort of TikTok star and doing things for the likes, the police can come for you. And I say that strongly, Madam Speaker, come defending my friend and colleague. It upset me. A woman with a child, and people following foolishness, and people know it's stupidness, but they're forwarding it still. They're broadcasting it. They're using it and making other videos on it, knowing that it's not true. And all of it, we should just put up with it because people say we have freedom of speech. No. I ain't going to tell you about the Constitution. I'm the Attorney General of this country. The Constitution allows you to have freedom of speech, subject to public safety and people's individual rights. You cannot just go and say anything you want. I know they have Kititians and divisions living in the States who believe because the states allow you to say anything they want, they could say anything they want. Stay up there. Come out of our internet, right? If you do that, we can send an MLAT to the US. We could find you, we could prosecute you, and we could get you extradited to St. Kitts to face charges. I want it to be clear. This foolishness has to stop. People are endangering people's lives because there are some people who believe anything they see. And it should not be tolerated in this country. And I'm sorry and I apologize, Madam Deputy Speaker, I'm upset. Because I'm a father too. And I'm a person in public office. And people think you could just say anything. That is not right. And there are laws, and believe you me, we might have to come in here, because the sentence is 2 years, we might have to come in here to increase the sentence. People are too reckless. And I want to point out what the section says. When a person without lawful excuse or justification knowingly uses a computer system, a phone, a smartphone is a computer system, to send a message, letter, or electronic communication that is obscene, constitutes a threat, or is menacing in character to a recipient and intends to cause the recipient or any other person who is the subject of that message or letter or electronic communication to feel intimidated, molested, harassed, or threatened, he or she commits an offense and is liable to summary conviction of a fine of $10,000 or to imprisonment for a term of 12 months or to both such fine and imprisonment. And where a person without lawful excuse or justification publishes the message, letter, or electronic communication referred to in subsection 1 to another person, not being a person who is the subject of that message, letter, or communication, that first person commits an offense and is liable on summary conviction to a fine of $15,000 or to imprisonment for a term of 2 years or to both such fine and imprisonment. So it's even more serious to forward it. And people need to know that it's unacceptable for that to happen. I am not saying don't have your opinions and don't express your opinions loudly, but don't threaten people and use lies to put people under risk because the police are going to come for you. Not me. The police are going to come for you. They're going to use the force of the law and you're going to meet the judge. Madam Speaker, we have to change this culture where we feel we can say anything about anyone and there are no repercussions. All I'm going to say is I support my sister, my friend, my learned colleague, the member for number 2, who was elected fairly and squarely, and I will not stand by as Attorney General and allow our society to go into the dirt that is propelled by certain people who sit in this house for 5 minutes and leave. They don't even have respect for this house. They come, they mark their name, and they leave. 2 years we've been sitting in this house. Never once they sit through a session. And they put their propaganda people to put out all sorts of things, putting people's lives at risk. They call me Lucifer. But I ain't afraid of nobody, you know. I ain't afraid of nobody. But they want to demonize people for the sake of politics. Nasty people. And this house, which is a house where people are elected to serve, and those people choose other people to serve with them, is the place to tell our people when certain things are not acceptable in a society. Do not follow them. Do not follow evil. Find the good in your heart. And when you see the foolishness being circulated and you get it on your phone, delete it. When you see it come in a group chat, chastise the person who sent it. We have to change this culture. Otherwise, our children coming up are going to be worse than us. We have a duty to the next generation to cut that cancer out right now, Madam Speaker. And it's personal because it's part of my family that was attacked. and the police.
Brother Benta, as I said, I support the AG's position on this matter, and I appreciate the fact that he let us know there's a law in this regard, which I wasn't aware of. And I'm giving a strong warning to them folks out there that believe that it was okay for them to create these videos and circulate them, you know. I have my copies. And I'm waiting for them to put their foot in this country, because they're not going back without they talk to somebody in one of these legal places, you know. I am going to challenge the AG and this law, and I'm going to make sure any one of them put their foot in St. Kitts while I am here. I am going to ensure that I file my case. People need to cut out their nonsense.
I think you should file your complaint now, so that in the future when they do arrive, you would have had your complaint filed.
Correct. You're correct.
That way, there's no trying to get it done hastily. And then, of course, they can't be detained unless for a probable cause on boarding a flight. So do it before. You'd be better off that way.
Thanks for the advice, sir. You're correct.
Okay.
And the situation is, you know, the AG spoke about the minister being a good person. I can attest to what the minister has done for me prior to becoming a minister. And I'm pretty sure many of these thugs, I do not know why people refer to some of them as gang members. Some of them are not gang members. They're just thugs. They just go out there and do things wrong. So the situation is that they get caught up in stuff and they go out there and they do their nonsense. Now, I know that this minister, while she was an attorney, there are several areas, several times that I needed assistance, legal assistance. And if I had to pay the young lady, it would end up into the thousands. And all she would say to me, Mr. Marisha, just go and pay the government taxes or pay whatever is required to file the papers. Her legal fees, she always waived them. And I know she have done that for many other people that had legal issues to deal with. So when I hear these things, just as the AG is upset and disappointed, I am too. But I cannot tell other people what experience they had. I know we got some ungrateful people, even in our families, friends. They use and abuse you, and when you decide enough is enough, you become the worst thing on this earth. But I want to drop a track here for our ministers of government. I want them to listen to this track. And the next time they go into cabinet, whatever conversation they are having, I want them to reflect on this song by the King Fonzie. Because it appears as though these Calypsonians who are our teachers and representatives over the years, when their party is not in power, they come up with some very powerful songs to chastise the government in office. But once their government gets into power, they can't find a thing to sing. And we got some powerful Calypsonians out there now. When you start calling powerful Calypsonians' name, you're going to hear about people like Sakrati, Fonzie, Starshield, Elimat, Ranger, King Pat, and we could go on and on, a great deal of them. The King Ginger, one or two things as well. The Miko, the this and that. But when they're party in power, they forget to sing lyrics. But this particular track with the King Fonzie, I love it because of the content. And this is for any government in office. People have a right to feel hurt. People have a right to feel disappointed. And as Dwyer said in his commentary, This situation that we are in today, I am of the view that the Labour government, the new Labour administration led by Prime Minister Joe, they was not looking to take office in 2022. Election had just taken place in 2020. People were just trying to cruise towards 2025 when the next election was constitutionally due. DJ Marisha wasn't going to stand for that. I went through enough problem in the previous year. I went through enough with COVID, and I see the lies and the corruption. I wasn't going to settle for another couple of years. And I decided to start my campaign to get rid of them. And I want to thank the people that joined forces to assist me to get rid of them. Some of the main players were people like Dwyer Astafan, Sam Kanda, Douglas Watley, Duncan Watley, the big lies, Ira McMahon, people like Larry Vaughan, people like Dr. Martin. All of those are the radio hosts out there that fall in line and follow. They play a role in getting rid of them. In 2020 to the fire 6, a 6-pound hammer, a 6-pack as they would say. And in August of 2022, the 6th of August, a Labour administration was born. And there's a couple of things that happened there. I don't think that the Labour Party realized what they was getting into. I don't think they realized what was going to be handed over to them. And today, the struggle is real, and the struggle continues. Because this CBI mess that we're in, this prison project that those 3 political parties that make up the Team Unity administration left us in a mess. The People's Action Movement, PAM, led by Sean Richards, was one of the culprits. The Concerned Citizen Movement, CCM, who is the Navy Side administration, today, with Premier Mark Brantley, who also holds the position of the opposition minister in the federal cabinet. Timothy Harris, the leader of the PLP and former prime minister. They left us in a mess. And I'm hearing people out there campaigning, they want back Timothy. Want back Timothy to go where? To do what? Open your eyes. Pay attention to what's going on. If the current administration is doing things that need to be adjusted, you have a right to talk about it. They're not going to like you. They're not going to like it. But talk. We're not going to make up lies and create all kind of hysteria, creating problems for your neighbors, your family, and your friends in the name of politics. If you all have not been going to the funerals, I've been going to them. With all the millions and billions they might be stealing, the amount of properties they have, the graves are 6 by 6 by 3, a total of 15 feet in diameter. That's all they could take. The box that they're in and the clothes on their back. They cannot take the bank accounts. They cannot take the buildings. They cannot take the vehicles. So my good people, let's take a quick listen to the King Fancy.
Think it's so blessed land of beauty, Where is your destiny? For you're now the subject of much confusion, creating diversion from your peaceful destination. Day after day we have heard your cry. Citizens, you're the ones on whom I rely to restore my glorious pride and honor, and the atmosphere of peace once shared by your ancestors. Oh, but we have watched foreigners trying to deprive our right, using sons of a soil or nations to exploit, while we foolishly look on, figuring that we are wrong if we raise our voice in opposition. No way! But we have the right to accept and the right to object anything for this nation. We have the right to inspect and the right to protect everything that God has laid in our hands. Oh yeah. But how can we truly say that we love this land if we stand and observe it heading for destruction? If the right is ours to be free, then tell me, then the right is ours to decide our destiny. If we have to stand up and fight, then let's unite, for we have the right. Oh yeah. Oh, no lie, die, die. Oh lie, oh lie. Have the right to criticize things that are displeasing to our eyes. For when such things happen and we don't utter, how could we expect situations to become any better? Well, if our leaders are accused of corruption, bringing joys to the rich people of this land, while the poor continue to scrunt and suffer. Citizens, this means our silence must reign no longer. If we close our eyes and our ears and pretend to be mute, keep on living in fear of facing the truth, we should hang our heads in shame, for then you know we are to blame for sending our nation down the drain. Whoa! We have the right to accept and object anything pertaining to this nation. Tell me, we have the right to inspect and the right to protect everything that God has laid in our hands. Oh yes. For how can we truly say that we love this land if we stand and observe it heading for destruction? If the right is ours to be free, then tell me where the right is ours to decide our destiny. If it means that we have to fight, then let's unite and stand for our right. Why should we as Calypsonians have to face victimization when we think of things happening in this island that affects the populace and our national progression? How when we sing to entertain, we are applauded and given good name, but as soon as we sing of this nation dissolution, it affects the populace and it causes much contention. If our nation's grievance we fail to publicize, putting our people on guard and opening their eyes, then we should abandon the stage. Our efforts is an outrage, contradicting our Indian heritage. Oh yes, we have the right to sing out. Let our voices ring out to educate this nation. We have the right to be heard. Every verse, every word on a national radio station. Oh yes, not in condemnation, but issuing advice, hoping to bring this land back to paradise. Look, we have the right to be free. Oh yes, to work and secure our dignity. Citizens, if we have to fight, then let's unite and stand for a right. Whoa!
Yeah, Brother Bender, tap your screen, open your mic there. You know, it's amazing. I'm reading a message here online from my good friend there, Brother Ivor W.A. Henry. He was one of the victims of this onslaught on social media a couple months back. And he's one of the persons I was referring to that the AG did not come to his rescue, just as myself. But Ivor is here representing the AG, saying that the AG mentioned other people in his speech in Parliament 4 times. Ivor, I want you to pay attention. You was a former police officer, good friend of mine, good cricketer. I am tired of the laws be found. Our people only get in gear when it affects someone in so-called high society. Ministers of government, doctors, lawyers, teachers. everyone have a right to the Constitution, equal right. And my point I am making with everything that was happening to myself and many other people where their character was demonized on social media from 2022 until now, we would not have had a case for the minister to go through this mess, because a stage would have been set, people would understand their limitations and where they can go. So I am not going to sit back and say, thank you, Mr. AG, for coming out now and telling us about this law. You're doing a good job. You should have been doing a good job for me being there 2 years ago, because you listen to my program, Mr. AG. You have seen me get attack after attack. I remember when the dirty bottom barber boy in the Bronx attacked me. I was over in Tobago, relaxing. I got a WhatsApp call from the man Sam Kanda asking me if I listened to the video clip that's going around that the dirty bottom barber boy did with his lies. I told him, yes, I'll deal with it in my time. I got a call from the big JL from Freedom FM asking if I heard the clip. And if I'm not going to respond, I tell him in my time. There are people in society that heard these things all over social media. But I guess Marisha was not important enough for them to go and let me know there's a law in place to represent. So I took them on my own turf. And I straightened their ass up. But now I know there's a law, I will deal with them in my time. They're going to walk into St. Kitts and can't walk back out. Let them come. All of them, let them come. Because I'm going to use the law. If you want to let your situation slide, Ivor, that's basically your choice. But every one of them that decide to mess with my character, I'm right here waiting for them. Right here in my bunker.
You know, Brother Marisha, you don't even have to wait. In the treaty between the United States and St. Kitts, as well as Interpol, where certain actions are taken against any person, no matter where you are, if you're United States or within the confines of under the Interpol, that they can still be extradited. All it takes is a letter from the AG, filing your charges, and thereby the AG's letters was submitted to for the US to be the US Marshals or Department of Justice, or most likely Department of Justice to the US Marshal's Office, and of course to the Crown. And an extradition can be provided. However, you will have to send a representative from the nation after the individuals are apprehended to bring them back to St. Kitts. So it's an open end. The law is on the books based on the treaty. It covers you anywhere once you fall within any treaty of any of the countries that it falls under. It's all good to go. So he doesn't have to wait for them to come back, DJ Marisha. If the AG is serious about it, all he or she has to do is prepare the appropriate documents to the appropriate agencies and with the appropriate charges and affix if they know where the address or whatever else to be found. And then have one of your investigators, I don't know the term you use, CIA, one of those individuals or two CID, who would travel to that state, and they would then, the individual would be then turned over to them for extradition back to St. Kitts and Nevis. That's in the extradition treaty.
Well, I'm going to reach out to the AG and I'm going to test him to see how serious he is about this matter. Because
if the information he provided is as he has, I've heard as he spoke, and these are the characteristics of what's been said, and is sufficient by his purview as the AG, then he should follow through, because you have all of the objects that you need to work with. You have all the tools to initiate it, if that's what it is, as he says.
Yeah, these people need to stop. There was a saying back in the days that talk is cheap. Talk might have been cheap back in the 60s and 70s, not today. Talk costs money today, and it costs livelihood and discomfort. And some of them need to be made uncomfortable to stop the nonsense that they're doing with people on social media. And I will set that stage. I'm not running away from none of them like the AG say. I don't fear none of them. I can take them on head on and ensure that nobody have to go through this kind of situation again. Because some of them out there, they don't have nothing to do. They just sit back wherever they are and jump on the equipment and just decide to dirty people's name. create situation and people so quick to hear negativity. You put something positive out there on social media, you might get a response from 2% of the people. You put something negative, is 99% response. You know, I came here for the last couple of weeks, and Brother Benter, it bothers me that our citizens, our communities, they don't have no care for people. The amount of blood that have shed thus far this year, I think is up to 26 or 28, if not close to 30 people has been murdered in one form or the other. A 9-year-old. Where is the cry of the people? As I stated earlier, my good friend Cons went missing from the 1st of August, found on the 9th of August, buried on the 21st of August. Today is the 26th of September. Where's the passion and compassion and upsetness about the AG and them? They know about it. I reach out to the commissioner of police, basically he's sleeping. The family still have no information, still waiting. This is not a situation where somebody was gunned down in the street and you got to go do ballistic check and find out who fired the weapon and these things. The person responsible is the owner of that home. What investigation are you doing still? The commission need to wake up or resign. That is my view. Department of Health, what are they doing? I filed my complaint already a week and a half ago. I'm giving them time. But that home should not be operating still today, Mr. Benter. You know, I have put a lot of things in place and I'm not going to stop until I see some results. Cons Edwards must not die in vain. No one else should have to go through this again.
The preliminary report for Cons, was it done? I'm pretty sure it was done because the funeral was already had. In order to execute the burial, you must have had a police report releasing the body. And did you get a copy of that? And then, of course, the investigative report would be different.
The only thing that I know we have is the death certificate with his time of death, proposed cause of death. That is what it took to bury Mr. Edwards.
No police preliminary report?
No. Up to today, I tried to get some information. There is nothing new. The police are sleeping. And I am basically at my last wish with them, you know. I don't even care to call them because the response is like, you're bothering them, they're getting paid to do a job. Like I would say to the nurses or the doctors, if you're going to the institutions just to collect a check, then don't go. You must have that love and that care for people, for the sick, to go into those institutions. Just going to collect a check, it does not make sense. Just the same for the police. If you're just there to collect a check and not going to do your work and protect the citizens, public safety, that is your function, then leave the job. I'm hearing some story last week and I hope it's not so. I'm still trying to dig. That some drug bust with cocaine and marijuana and ammunition, whatever, went missing from the holding point in the police custody. How are you going to tell me you got a police station that is manned 24 hours and evidence going to disappear from your evidence room and nobody know where gone and how it went?
Oh, this is out of the evidence room, you said?
That's what I'm hearing.
I pray that that's not true.
But this ain't the first time I'm hearing this, Brother Benter. This have happened before. I hear this situation before. I'm still investigating. I am telling people I don't believe they're telling me it's a fact. You go on social media and the rock paper there saying it's Nevis time, they have it up there. But I don't really trust their reporting. I have to verify their reporting. But I'm speaking to people in the know who are telling me that this is factual.
I would think if that was so, DJ Marisha, I think the police commissioner, based on transparency to the people of the territory, would come out and say something. Because of course, if that's so, it's on the streets. It is a harm that it does. There's no good in it. And once it's out in the street the way it is, if it did get out of the evidence room, then the question is who and when, what or what? It's bothering. If someone working in an evidence room, somebody's accountable to somebody.
Somebody.
And it's just something that doesn't make any sense. But I pray if the commissioner hasn't said anything, let's wait and see. But I pray that that's not the case. I pray that's not the case.
Well, I am all out of prayer, looking for some more, because from August 6th to present, believe me, every opportunity I get, every time I think, I always pray that God will give wisdom to our new Prime Minister and his cabinet to take our country in a different direction, a positive direction. Don't let what have happened in the past administration plague this administration. I pray for that daily. So you see me come here on a Wednesday evening, I call it like I see it. I ain't here to spin for nobody, twist for nobody. And I'm not going to start. We need to get to the bottom of these things. And if evidence are disappearing in the evidence room, and the police commissioner have not done anything about it to this point, then he needs to go. He must be able to control the people below him. Whoever work in those rooms, the log, everybody should be charged.
That's not the only issue you have now, you know. If these items are missing from the evidence room, every evidence that's in this room, in that room now, is null and void. In other words, you've lost chain of command, chain of control. So somebody could have gone in there and tampered with some other evidence they had from other cases. Me as a defense attorney would say, hey, the evidence was missing from this room, which was supposed to be under safe custody. And I feel that somebody may have actually tampered with my client's case with the evidence that's there as well. So you have an issue.
Serious issue.
If that's the case.
Serious issue.
If that's the case.
Serious issue. I'm still trying to get information. There's a lot more other stuff that came across my desk in the last couple of days. Some of it I confirm, but I'm going to leave it for now, which is very hurtful and harmful to the Federation, because we elect people to do the right thing. And as someone said, it does not matter who is doing the situation, whoever commit the crime. The Prime Minister is the head. And if you don't reel them in, he's responsible. Just I'm saying about the police commissioner. These things happen if it is in fact that the evidence room was tampered with and evidence missing. Why the public don't know? We have a right to know these things.
It's transparency.
Let us know what you're doing to correct the situation. You know, but this hidey business, I'm tired of it. I'm really tired of it. Some of the things I am hearing, I don't want to believe. The situation here with the minister, like I spoke about earlier, I figured the right thing to do would have come out and let the people know I'm innocent of these accusations. The Attorney General said, listen, we're gonna launch an investigation, independent investigation into the matter, and will come back to the public. Let's handle things in the appropriate way. You can't just let things sit and manifest and go young ones, because it's not going to get less, you're going to get more, you're going to multiply. This little state of St. Kitts and Nevis, I love it. I enjoy being here. The people are good. We got some people that let politics get the better of us and not thinking straight. And what they don't understand, when you try to destroy a country that you are trying to become leader of one day, but when you get there, what do you think is going to happen? You don't destroy it, you got to go fix it back in. So why destroy the country and destroy your people? Deal with the issues. This investigation that is now we're talking about with the CBI, that should have been done from day one, before the current administration signed one iota of another passport application for anybody else, because we campaign on that. We campaign on the prison project. We campaign on the electoral office. We campaign on minimum wage. We campaign on the peace program. We campaign on a lot of things. So you're going to tell me 2 years later, you're inside there, the fake marriages, the missing money from Development Bank. I mean, come on. It's too much things to talk about that have not been addressed. and is not comfortable on DJ Mauritius' chest. I need answers. Some people might tell me shut up. But when I was campaigning, they never tell me shut up. They wanted to hear what I was saying because it was beneficial to them. We were getting rid of a corrupt administration. Well, now we are all there. The questions never change. I want to know about the fake marriages. I want to know about the development bank and the country's finances. I want to know about the electoral office. I want to know what's going on across the Narrows Day Nevis with this corrupt administration they got over there. Every time the post moved from pillar to post, there was a hospital wing that started in 2017 for some 19 million. They say it started at 80, reached 19 million, was supposed to be completed by 2019. We are in 2024. The bill gone over 30,000, I understand. The place is now a close finish. We hear about drilling wells for water in Nevis. How much millions they appropriate for wells? They were supposed to drill 3. Then they're going to drill 9 by Culturama. The Culturama come and gone, you know. I heard somebody say they're trying to drill on some person land, private land, and they're telling the person that they have to drill first to see if water there. And if water there, they're going to give them another piece of land someplace and take the land. All of this bullshit I'm hearing, you know, about the Benta.
Is the Prime Minister a person who's familiar with politics or government?
I'll be honest with you. I said to somebody some day ago, I don't think when it comes to politics, any one of these individuals that run went to school and be certified to be Prime Minister, Deputy Prime Minister, Minister of Tourism, Minister of Agriculture. None of them is an on-the-job learning process for everybody. But it's whether or not you're listening to the people on the ground. You cannot go in there as a, I think from what I understand, the 4 prime ministers that we've had thus far, 3 of them is medical doctors. And the healthcare system has suffered under all of them except right now, Dr. Joe, Prime Minister Joe, is trying his best to do some work in the healthcare sector. A lot of work is being done. I could attest to that. But when you, the citizen who has the experience in certain areas, no matter how good you are at your job, they're telling you they want a certificate in the field. You know? They ain't got no certificate in their field as Prime Minister, as Deputy Prime Minister, as Minister of Agriculture, as Minister of Tourism. They're learning on the job, but you must come with a certificate. Mr. Benta, I heard Big Light say one night, the donkey said the wall no level. And it's true, in a level. We get a constant beating from the people that we elect to look out for us. And DJ Marish, I have no problem speaking on Brother Benta. I have nothing to lose.
It's heart-wrenching to hear that, because I mean, I've listened, and I would think, and a suggestion to the Prime Minister as a physician, do the diagnosis, do the blood tests, run all of the tests that you can in the blood, and the blood being every department that you get blood from. And through that, you begin to do all of your elimination for diabetes, hypertension, high cholesterol. Use it in that fabric. And I use it in that term because I know he understands that the vein of it is, I don't know if they've conducted audits of all of the agencies to make sure that the coffers or the treasury is where it's supposed to be, and where funds were expended, to check where funds have expended or where funds are encumbered to whomever may have had contracts, and review the contracts and see where some of the underhand towing may be. But to not pay attention to your own manifesto, that is critical. And I think the manifesto gave timelines, I would think, to accomplishing some of these tasks where many people are still paying attention to that, and that is vital. In control of a system, you're in control. The ministers and all who have voted for you to lead the party, it is his role to do so. There may be some who may sit on the side of advisory, but you have to get an advisor based on advisor you get from other advisor to make sure that the advice that you come into becomes neutral in all ways when you put it together. Otherwise than that, there are formulas that will be used that may help one or the other, but then creates hardship on your own people. So I think that needs to be looked into. If the manifesto says this, then there should be working along with the manifesto to present to the people prior to sitting into office. And that's where I think maybe some of the things are short. How many times do they have PSAs, public service announcement, where they come together and report to the community? How often do they do that?
But I bet they look like you want me to get charged for lying, you know, because I don't have a clue.
Oh, Jesus.
Anyway, we're at the bottom of the hour, but
Yes.
Brother Benta, and I believe in updating our people and give reports where we are. So before we run out of time, I want to let the people know that the initiative that I started for Brother Cance Edwards, aka the Buffalo Soldier, aka the Lord Black, has been going very well. And I want to thank people like Brother Eustace Warner there at Warner's One Stop for his contribution towards the employee at the daycare. I also want to thank the good folks there at Jeff Freights and Sons Enterprises over there in the Molyneux area, the supermarket there, and their bakery there in the borough for their contributions. I also want to thank Brother Paris, Romeo Paris Pharmacy for his contribution, Smart Fit, Sister Gloria, Sister Hazel Claxton, Sister Pearl there in the UK. I want to thank everyone for their contribution. Many people has promised me that they will make a contribution. I have yet to receive it. I just want you all to know that thus far, I have paid out 4 weeks' salary to the daycare. The employee is doing well. They are happy with the employee, and I want to continue doing so. The reserve funds that I have to pay weekly is depleting, so I am asking you to make your contribution if you plan to do so. I am hoping at some point in time, I can speak to someone with the government to help in this regard, that I can move on to another project, because there are several people that are reaching out to me, Brother Benta, asking for assistance. As a matter of fact, people are meeting me in the city, through the villages, telling me, Marisha, we appreciate what you're doing for Cance and his family. We need help as well, so what you can do to help us, whatever. But I'm focusing on Cance at the moment. So that salary I paid out 4 weeks thus far, I will continue to make payments once funds comes in to the account. Also, yesterday, the artist came and looked at the area for the mural to be painted for Brother Black. It's going to be started today. He said to me it'll be done in a day or two. So pretty soon I'll be able to post something on my page that you guys can see the work is done. I also hoping to get some contribution to assist in paying for that. Sugar Mass is around the corner. I already reached out to the Carnival Committee, to the director, Mr. Clement Ogaro, and I made the offer on behalf of Brother Black and his family to sponsor the trophy for the Calypso Finals. That as well that we are working on. I will do everything within my power, Brother Benta, to ensure that the legacy and memory of Cance Edwards does not go to sleep in every way. From keeping his name and his legacy alive to ensuring that some kind of law is enacted through Parliament in his name, in his honor. He cannot die for nothing. The Cance Edward Health law must be enacted. That home must feel the weight. And if the police not going to do their work, by the end of the month, Mr. Benta, you're going to hear about me in the Virgin Islands, because we're going to hit the streets. I don't want nobody to go out there to say, oh, Marisha Gone saying he's going to march against the Labour government that he fight to put into office. I'm not marching against the government. I am going to march against the right thing for the people. The healthcare system, these nursing homes, laws must be implemented. Nobody should have the right to collect $2,500 a month from any member of a family to take care of their sick. And you just let them out there and this pasture like goats to eat grass, to come back when you feel like it. And if you don't come back, to hell with it. It's not going to happen under my watch, Brother Benta. So in this regard, there's a lot that is going on, and I will come week after week and keep the people informed. And as we wind down the evening, before I get into my next song, Brother Benta, elections in the Virgin Islands is a few weeks away, November 5th. tell the people how things are going with you and your campaign and that end.
Well, Marisha, you know, when I joined this show of speaking with the people, I know there are a lot of people in the Virgin Islands who are listening at your show as well. But in understanding how strong it is, I want to say thanks to every single person. As I will say again, this push for me to resume or to run for an office again is on the people's side. I didn't have to do anything. The people took up arm and they decided it's time for you to come back, because there's so many things that was taking place before. You were trying to show us, you explained it in verbatim, and we didn't hear it. But now that it's happening, just as I said in 2019, it's happening every page, as I said, as is what's going to happen. The people of the Virgin Islands being sued right now for a case that they didn't have any knowledge about. All they knew was they were trusting our government officials to do what's right for them. And as such, because of the negligence of our own government with having knowledge, victims who were part of a pedophile matter are now suing the Virgin Islands government. And that means they're suing every citizen as well. Something that we could have avoided by doing what we needed to do. And it takes me back to listen to you and Brother Black and what happened with him. But there's a Ministry of Health or Ministry of Human Services, one of those areas there that has a role to play as well. I'll say to the people of the Virgin Islands who are listening though, step by step, everyone knows how I walk when I speak, what I do, and when I say what I mean it, and understand what I say will come to fruition. To grow an economy, you must be able to reach the economy. But many investors stay away from an economy because before you get to the economy, you got to pay the people at the door before you go in, and those are your politicians. And those are areas that keep business from coming in to diversify your economy. And if you can't diversify your economy, you can't grow the economy. That means that the AI series that we're just about to embark on, a lot of our children are not being exposed to what can be, what they can become, nor is our education system structuring itself to meet those niches, because we are, in fact, in a great time and a great place, but we're stagnating our own people because there's other things we want to do for others, because other people have to pay money under the table to get in to do it. So once your own become disenfranchised or dispossessed in a matter way, and you force what you call individuals actually leaving your home because they can't get better, you have a new dynamic of a new society in your own home where you're no longer conditioned division. Same thing with the Virgin Islanders. There's an exodus, not by way because you can't do better, but because you can't find better. And so to go where better is found. So I would say to everyone who's listening, thank you. And I pray that everyone who is listening understands that as we go forward, and listen to Brother Marisha here and those in St. Croix, St. Thomas, St. John are listening as well, that is one Caribbean family. We are going through something similar. At the same token, how are we going to stand up and place ourselves in a position to fight for what's right for our own people, when our own people fight in their own selves? And those that we put in offices, they forget that they were once where you were, where they were also part of the series of the complaints and concerns. Now you're sitting in positions that you can manage it. You're forgotten from whence you came. Let's change that. Immediately in what you promised, what you said you're going to do. If you can't, you come to the people and say, I can't get it done. If you haven't been saying that, then you have lost focus. You've lost your way. You become tied up in other issues where it has lost the respect of the people who gave you their respect and voted for you. So thank you, DJ Marisha, for even acknowledging that I am in the November 5th election of St. Croix as a candidate. I'm number 5 on the ballot. And of all those who are here that's listening to St. Croix, I humbly ask you for your vote and your consideration. Thank you, DJ Marisha.
Okay, let's stand by for a quick track here by my boy, King Fonzie. I'm featuring Fonzie tonight for the situation because it's appropriate. Lyrically, the content, it's educational. So let's take a quick listen.
Though there's something true, I still got me down. Sometimes I want to think that they're crazy, since they say that they're trying to help me out. They tell me that I'm a good calypsonian, one who never failed to bring them good songs. But if the crown I want to wear, I have to be living here. Forget my foreign affairs, it could ruin my career. So now tell me, if I'm not recognized as a Kittitian just because I live on an ex-island, that is bad. I want you to tell me that the funds we have to repatriate to be qualified just for winning sake, then they're mad. They're real mad. How come they're still talking about my late release in last year? And the Calypso and the Crown last year did the same thing. Tell me why they judge me wrong. Man, they start listening my song. They tell me when they change the criteria, they thought that it would be for a best. But the 15 judges they brought here only make the competition a mess. They only give 30 points for the rest and 50 points for presentation, so that any lunatic with little or no music could come and sing anything, present it well, and he would win. So now tell me, if I have to dramatize my whole song, let the judges see where I'm coming from. That is dread. I want you to tell me if I have to stop writing my lyrics so strong and just concentrate on how to perform Fancy Dead. How come they didn't tell me that our competition is now based on drama, where music and lyrics are minor characters? Then I would have understand why they went and judged me wrong instead of listening my song. No lie. Songs of patriotism, I sing songs to educate our youth. I even sing songs alerting a nation to open their eyes so to face the truth. But they tell me I have to abuse politicians, accuse them of terrorizing this land, or else I should have some friends to the panel recommend. And if I can't follow that trend, they tell me I lose again. So now tell me, if it's politics that I have to sing to convince the judges that I am king, that is dread. So dread. I want you to tell me, if I have to search for the right channel to have friends sitting on the judges panel are dead. Fancy dead. Tell me the judges want to hear scandal and wild propaganda. They say ignore my song that was educational. Tell me why they judge me wrong, and when the carnival gone, man they start listening on the song. Now the latest thing that they tell me Californians getting a brand new car, and if I win how they gonna give me to take back down in Virgin Gorda. So the youth, I enter the competition falsely. They say you would be only wasting your time, but everything that they're saying sounding so discouraging. To me they're implying that they want me not to sing. So now tell me, if for 5 years now country competing place in every year and can see a thing, ain't it bad? So bad. I want you to tell me if it's brand new car that you're now giving, that they can't discourage me not to sing, then they're mad. Then they're mad. Why don't they tell the judges for this competition sit back and lend an ear, so the judgment wouldn't be biased and unfair? Then they wouldn't judge me wrong, and when the carnival done, they would start listening to the song. Well, everybody together for the back and faster.
Yes, it will be nice if they start listening to the message of the people, because when DJ Marisha come here on a Wednesday evening, I am bringing the message from the streets, from the people of this beloved federation. I am not here cussing government like some of you might feel. I speak about the past administration and the wrong that they did and the corruption. And I cannot sit back and act like everything is okay when I'm hearing from the people a different message. So if the people is asking me, DJ Marisha, you tell us to give Labour a chance. We give Labour a chance, but things tight. We feel in the squeeze. Tell the PM this for me, tell the PM that for me. Well, I have to bring the message to the PM. He's our PM. I support the PM. I support the Labour administration. So I have to bring the message. So let me drop this one by Winston Soso, and I hope the Prime Minister is listening. I'm not accusing you of being corrupt, but in the past administration, it was too much. So I'm making sure that you look in the opposite direction of the corruption, sir.
Getting higher, you can't walk do or die. Protect your human life. Somebody killing the neighbor. Now they claim me. Don't want them to kill me. When you're on the streets, it's so embarrassing. Everyone you meet thinks that you're the same. You can't even say good morning to anyone. The first thing they think is that you're mugging and they want to run. Police at war with civilians. And it's all because of them hooligans. Ain't nowhere to hide, ain't nowhere to run. How can we survive if this keeps going on? The police with guns and knives, they're looking for a fight. You either do or die, protect your human life. They're killing the neighbors, committing these murders. I'm so afraid, yeah, everybody running scared. Ain't nowhere to hide, ain't nowhere to run. How can we survive if this keeps going on? They're using guns and knives, now they're looking for a fight. You either do or die, protect your human life. Ain't nowhere to hide, 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 ain't nowhere to hide,
Ain't nowhere to hide, ain't nowhere to run, Brother Benter. I'm going to say good evening to some folks here online and give you a chance to do your closing as we're coming up to the top of the hour there of 7 o'clock. So I want to big up my boy, Brother Chester Watson. You was #1 in the line this afternoon. I guess you was just waiting to link up Sister Linda Clark. How you doing? You was #2. Diane Flanders, #3. Smelter Jeffers, #4. Are you on the door, #5? New Beginnings Warner, #6. You guys are really pumping it up there. Brother Marvin, Nigel Leader, you're #7. Nigel Quick, #8. Patrick Brown, how are you doing, my brother? How is things there in the Virgin Islands? Welcome to the ride. Annette Morton, good evening. How are you doing? Triple X Stone there, how are you doing? Beverly Marisha, good evening. How are you doing? Hope all is well there with brother Roger Wallace and the missionary there, Sister Deborah Wallace, sorry, Sister Kia. Hope all is well with you, my good people there in the Tobago area. Brother Victor Beard, Gloria Beard, and Sister Melissa Beard, how are you doing? Over there in the Trinidad area. Brother Daniel, how are you doing? How is Chanel and the grandkids? They hope all is well. Sharon Warner, Jermaine Anthony, Kitishan King, Elvis William, aka the King Freddie, how are you doing? How is the man Green? The man Lord Kent, Brother Kent, Sister Debbie, how are you doing? I want to big up my engineer there out of TNT. The man Ike, how are you doing? Without Ike, this program will not be still flowing. Started on November 8th of 2020, still going strong, heading into our 4th season. Want to thank my nephew there, the man Glenville Lawrence, for keeping the clips going, the Model Cop and crew. Want to touch on Alvan Brown, how are you doing? The man Django. How about the man there, Brother Elvan Ellie? How are you doing? How is the wife? Queely, Mark Dorr, Evelyn, Esther Edita Markman, how are you doing? How is things there in the UK? Sister Haley Tennant Phipps, how are you doing? How is things there in Scotland? My brother there, the man Ambassador Creeley there in the Morocco area. Petty Line Carey, how are you doing? Sonia Douglas, Brother Trevor Cornelius, Brother Carbo, hope all is well with you guys there. How are you doing there in the Fountain area, the man Patrice Nisbet, hope all is well with you, my brother. Miller Farms, how are you doing? Shirley Christopher, Wilpin Hill, Veronica Roberts, Brother Oakland Benter, welcome to the right, Casilda Francis, Brother Ivor, W.A. Henry, the man Desmond Hicks, Cheryl Detal, Lawrence Wharton, Vanessa Francis Warner, how are you doing? Rhonda Brown, Tyrell Nisbet, St. Clair Ward, Marvel A.C. Libert, how are you doing? Angola Martin, Pauline Swanston, welcome to the right. Violin Ali, how about the man Gene Sider, Sister Hazel Claxton, hope all is well. Sister Sheila Barrett, Naomi Ward, Tesha Prentice, how are you doing? Suzette James, Sandra Griffin David, lovely Lavi Combs, how are you doing? Welcome to the right, Sister Lavi, hope all is well with you. Sandra Huggins, how are you doing? How is Sister Millie and Sister Yvonne there? Hope all is well with you guys. Elvis Marisha, hope all is well with you. Melissa Pemberton, hope all is well with you. How about my sister there, Sister Anelta Robinson? Good evening, how are you doing? Hope all is well. Sandra Merritt, Jaquit, Deborah Beard Wallace, you're listening, Sister Deborah, welcome to the ride. My mascot there, Sister Dorothy Allen, how are you doing? Good evening. Hilla Brown. How about Sister Lake, Pamela Garvey, Pat Brooks? Well, folks, there's so many names, I'm not going to be able to call all of the names this evening, so if I miss you out, I'll try to catch up on you next week. Karen Christopher, Marina Adena. How about Brother Calvert Hazel? Hope all is well. Margaret Taylor, Veronica Roberts, Everson Powell, Terry S.K., Roses Richardson, Maurice Saran, Kelvin Maynard, Samantha Jones, Montclair Tito Sadler, how are you doing? Hope all is well. How is things there in the Toronto area? The man G.A. Dwyer, Astor Fan, Centric Daniel, Ruby Walters, Monique, Jacinta Martin, Celine Bias, how are you doing, my girl? Everything good? Joel, Angela Dorr, Pachina Hennessy, Kevin Dickinson, Annette Marie Nisbet, Brenda Morgan, Wilma Prokop, Sophia Warner, Janet Gwell, Paul, how are you doing? Good evening. Monica McCall, Avril Dickinson, Michelle Liebert, Jeffrey Pemberton, Madeleine Sargent, Anthony Connor, good evening, my brother. You made it, huh? Welcome to the ride. Thaddeus Deposo, how are you doing, my brother? And Julius, Loretta Clark Quilly, how are you doing? Brother Sebastian Williams, welcome to the ride. And Nesta Ward, Desmond Claxton, Shirley Byron, Knox Warner, Endurance Edwards, how are you doing? Welcome to the ride, Vicky Hazel. Well, brother, Benta, tap your screen, open your mic. I cannot go through all of these names, otherwise I'll be here till maybe midnight, so you're closing.
Thank you. It's always a good pleasure to be with you and your listening audience as well. And I see that they really participate. A lot of the commentaries that come through, I could tell that it helps to guide the show some more on the issues that are very interested to the people who are listening with you. And you're helping because you're answering a lot of them for them, and as well as for the nation, so they can understand throughout the world where many people have migrated to is a good thing. So I want to wish everyone a Godspeed and a safe couple of days ahead of us until next week. Godspeed.
Yeah, Brother Bent, I'm going to take this opportunity and just thank the good people at the Island Purified Water, Main Street, Newton Grounds, and Kitts. Brother Powell and his team there, thanks for keeping the DJ hydrated when he's in the Federation. Keeping up the good work. I want to touch my cousin there, Gloria at Smart Fit, Uncle Joseph there at the Male Guest House. And I want to touch Sister Laura Williams there at the TDC Mall as well, clothing store, the Dancing Commissioner, Brother Austin Williams. There's a lot more to be said, but the time has come. It's 7 o'clock at the top of the hour at the moment. So we're going to drop the unofficial anthem of St. Kitts Nevis. This one is called Arise by the late, great King Arrow. I ask you to listen to the lyrics. I know the music is sweet. I know Hazel love to bounce to this one, but please listen to the
this building, a wall so massive or a bridge, don't care how small, as one tends to divide our people, the other unite us all. Unambitious men just cannot be a part of this community. Displaying selfishness, a total lack of interest. No, I say no, not at all. Citizens, let's unite and stand up for rights, all our lives and our lives. Let us reintegrate and correct our mistakes. Reunification, building a brand new nation. We move on together hand in hand. Rise, citizens, arise. The country is yours, all yours, still yours. Can your conscience be clear? Indulging corruption or misusing public office, being accused of unemployment and crimes, or disrupting a citizen's peace. Oh, my country in this harmony, separated politically. Hatred for a brother, cannot love each other. No, I say no, not at all. Citizens, let's unite and stand up for rights, all our lives and our lives. Let us reintegrate and correct our mistakes. Reunification, building a brand new nation. We move on together hand in hand. So rise, citizens, arise. The country is yours, all yours, still yours.
Yes, that's the sound of the late great King Arrow. That one is called Arise, My Good People. I want to say good night to my sister there in Tortola, Sister Esther Hutchinson Possad there, husband Makish, and the kids. Hope all is well with you guys. I want to touch my brother there, brother called Morris, across there in St. Thomas, Sister Felicia Morris, the man Avon Brown, Patsy Brown, Marco, Maralph, and the crew. My cousin there, brother Kent Bernier there in St. Thomas, Sister Pamela, my favorite cousin there, Sister Natalie Carty. How you doing? How is Starlight? My uncle Eustace there in St. Croix. Hope all is well. Sister Lynn, how you doing? Good evening. Hope all is well. Sister Cora Bennett, Good evening, Sister Ann Farrell Smith. Gwyneth Marisha, how are you doing? Hope all is well there. I have to big up my boy there, Brother Ranger over there in the UK. How are you doing? How is the wife? Hope all is well with you guys there, the man Mighty Pat. Hope all is good with you. My good people, as usual, every good thing have to come to an end. So at this time, I wish you guys God blessings and look forward to seeing you next Wednesday. Same place, same time. I want to touch my godmother there, Sister Joyce Bedford, and Brother Bedford, hope all is well. My father, Alfonso Marisha there in St. Thomas, Virgin Islands. My sister Esther in Tortola, still thinking about your sister. I have to give you a call. And my sister Alicia there in the Bronx, New York. Hope all is well with you guys. My baby girl, yes, I'm missing you. I know you're missing daddy. Daddy's missing you. Look forward to seeing you soon.